Hey everybody. So for the last year or so, I have been making videos black and white. And I did that because I wanted to give a timestamp and a visual reminder in my own work and in my own archives of a period that was going to be the beginning of a regressive regime that in many ways would usher in America's decline. However, I think that this year it is important for me to go back to color because this is election year and it is time for us to push to move forward, to progress instead of digress, to be progressive instead of regressive. So, in that effort, I'm back in color, and it's not really going to make that much of a difference, but it was to me a time of grieving because we were entering a dark period, but it was also a time of reflection and thinking about it in a sense, in a very black and white way of how we took a posture backwards. So, welcome to Law and Society. Please subscribe. Today we're going to talk about the trauma of oppression. Now, I was rewatching The Hunger Games, and it is truly horrifying how this movie reflects what's happening in America and on American streets right now. We used to see it in the movies, learn about it in the news and in the history books about oppression. Now we feel it in our bones because we are under occupation by a malevolent imperial force that intends to upend our government, our constitution, and our republic. It is without a doubt a trauma on anybody who is American and who does not subscribe to Donald Trump's ideology or condone his actions. It is a trauma to many countries, many professions, and many who are destitute and desperately in need. It is a trauma to those who are being targeted by the regime. It is a trauma for women and transgender people, a trauma for all those who are being racially profiled. It is acute trauma for thousands of children Trump's regime has detained. It is a horrifying trauma for the kids who are being subjected to subhuman conditions, who are being chased down on our streets. It is damaging their psyches and will negatively impact their lives. Families, neighborhoods, and communities are being torn apart with depraved cruelty, or at best, ambivalence towards human suffering. In a way, the country as a whole is still in shock about what is happening. I don't think most people have picked up on the decline of our economic and national security conditions. But 2026 will reveal and expose the Epstein class as a whole. And we are going to see what the corruption really looks like. When Scott Bessent recently said 2026 will be a year of feasts and banquets, and I believe other government officials of Donald Trump's regime have also said that. And it all of a sudden clicked for me. He's talking about the Epstein class. It won't be feasts and banquets for the rest of us. The rich and corrupt people will make the most of the K-shaped economy that has been forming for years now. This will leave millions without basic government assistance that is part of America's promise. It will leave millions without the safety nets of Medicaid and SNAP. It will traumatize and be traumatic for millions for the coming years. Every single thing Trump does to the American people, our country, and our communities is tantamount to inflicting trauma that will take generations to repair. Americans are collectively being traumatized by an unhealthy and abusive relationship with our government that is supposed to be of, for, and by the people. This is doing generational damage to our evolving legacy. We deserve better, and our children deserve better. Thank you for listening, and I will talk to you soon.